All right, Shalom. I'm thankful and I'm grateful to be out here once again to preach and to prophesy unto my people, being you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And according to the Holy Bible, you are the biblical Israelites. This is based off of your father's genetic line. It is about agnet and paternal relations that determines whether or not you're an Israelite, okay? Understanding that our people have been dispersed all throughout the earth, we look like all nations under the sun. So this is not a black or white thing, all right? It's wet out here right now. The lightning's flickering. You know, it's kind of drizzling a little bit. So I had to come where I have a covering. I'm out here later than what I want it to be, but Lord willing, I can still be edifying in hopes to either reel in some of the elect or to edify the elect who already understand. Okay? So as always, before I get started, I have to give all thanks and praises unto our power, the power of Israel, not the power of any other nation. And you should already know what his name is. All right? Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Warakwadash. Peace, blessings, much respect to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, on down to the rest of the elders who rule well within Israel. Salutations to the hopeful elect throughout the four corners of this whole entire earth, no matter where, whom they may be, or what they may look like, pushing out this purified truth. To the rest of the church who believe as well, you men who may not be teachers or prophets, you women, sons, and daughters as well. And the water to Yahweh Shai, because without him enduring and going to that cross for the nation of Israel and the nation of Israel alone, none of this would even be possible whatsoever. So I gotta speak on it. I have posted up the video about the chariot that I saw. And it was an amazing sight. So check this out. So I'm driving to work. I see chariots in the sky, which I'm not bragging or boasting, but that's a common thing. The water Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. That's a common thing, right? But as I'm driving, right in front of me, my eyes is following this chariot, right? I'm like, cool. But at that particular time, it wasn't on my spirit to pull out my phone and to record it. I just took that moment in and was like, you know, Kahala Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. So as it was moving, out of nowhere, it went from looking like a star and it got bigger and it inflamed into like a fireball, right? And it was real wavy looking. And it did it like, it was like this. Then it went right back down to looking like a star. Now, when I saw it, that's crazy. I just saw a chariot and now it's blocked behind a cloud and it's cloudy out here right now. You can't see none of the sky. But I just saw a chariot peek through that cloud. Let me find where I was going with this. So let me go back. So as I was following the chariot with my eyes, it looked like a star. And then it transformed into like this fireball. It expanded itself by like 5 times the size of what it was, right? And it turned into an amber color and it looked like a flaming fireball. Then it transformed back into looking like a star. And then it moved back and it like disappeared or something, if I can remember right. Then when I got to work, as I was walking out the building of my job because it takes me a minute to get to the time clock. But I was walking through my job, and as I was going outside, I'm looking in the sky and I see that ball of fire again. But the first few seconds, I didn't catch on. I just knew I saw something in the sky. And I was like, oh, it's that fireball, it's the chariot again. I tried to grab my phone. The second I grabbed my phone to hit record, it disappeared. And I had this tingling feeling in my body, like the left side of my body was tingling. And I just felt so joyful and I felt so good. I was so happy. I tell you though, when I first saw it, let me move this back so it don't get wet. When I first saw it, you know what came out of my mouth? My eyes lit up and I was like, what the fuck? Then I was like, Allah Yahweh Shem Yahushai. It was an amazing sight. All right. You see, there's not a lot of traffic out here right now due to the weather. But I wanted to get out here. It's going to be rainy for the next few days. So what am I supposed to do? Just wait for it to not rain to come out here? You know, I had to come out here where there's a covering. But yeah, so that drew me. That motivated me to want to come out here and, you know, speak on the chariots a little bit. And brothers got to believe, man. Brothers got to have faith. All right, so let's go to the book of Nahum. Nahum chapter 2 and verse 1. He that dasheth in pieces is come up before thy face. Keep the munition, watch the way, make the loins strong, fortify thy power mightily. For the Lord hath turned away the excellency of Jacob as the excellency of Israel. For the emptiers have emptied them out and marred their vine branches. The shield of the mighty man is made red. The valiant men are in scarlet. The chariots shall be with flaming torches in the day of his preparation, and the fir trees shall be terribly shaken. So when I saw that chariot, it looked like a flaming torch. It looked like a ball of fire. The first appearance, it looked like a star. Then it transformed itself into a ball of fire. Then it transformed itself back into looking like a common star. And when I got it on the footage, by that point, it looked like a common star. But when it transformed into that ball of fire, it was like an amber color. But when it was in the form of a star, it was more of a bright white color. Okay? I saw this with my own eyes. And this isn't the first time that I've seen this. So I know I'm not crazy. And guess which direction I was facing? The east. All right? Verse 4. The chariots shall rage in the streets. They shall jostle one against another in the broad ways. They shall seem like torches. They shall run like the lightnings. So the chariots are pure energy. They can look like torches. You look in the sky, imagine seeing a ball of fire. And then somebody will say, you're crazy, that could never be. That's totally fine if people think I'm just out here just making things up. The Bible's not real. That wasn't what you thought it was. It was Project Bluebeam. You can think whatever you want. But we know these things to be true, and Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is showing us signs verifying here in these last days that he's with us and he's visiting the earth in which he made. So let's go to the book of 2 Kings, chapter 6 and verse 17. And Elisha prayed and said, Lord, I pray thee, open his eyes that he may see. And the Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw, and behold, the mountains was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha. So you have to imagine looking in the sky and you see thousands of chariots looking like flaming fireballs, man. looking like balls of fire right before your eyes, because that's what I saw. And guess what? I need to wear glasses to see better. I didn't even have my glasses on during that moment, and I was still in awe. That's how amazing it was. And how it did it, it was so cold to where there was nobody around. See, the last time this happened, there was nobody around. This time, there was nobody around. When I saw it again that second time, okay, there was a little, either a Moabite or an Ammonite standing right in front of the little doorway as I was going outside and saw it, but he was looking at a 90-degree angle from it. So he wasn't even looking at it. And I'm like pedaling from my phone like, oh, I got to catch this. And it was already gone, you know? But these things are happening because the Lord is showing us he's here. He's real. Okay? And a lot of men need to up their faith more. A lot of men need to have more courage and be encouraged. Not only be encouraged, be encouraging to others, man. Because iron sharpens iron. We have to feed each other. We come out here to feed each other and give each other hope through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Because through Yahweh Shai, we understand that all things are possible. Okay? Let's read this again. So this is in the book of 2 Kings, chapter 6 and 17. Elijah prayed and said, Lord, I pray thee open his eyes that he may see. And the Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw. And behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha. So Elisha was Elijah's understudy, so to speak. Okay? And his eyes was open to see chariots all around him. Because regardless of what people may think, although there are a whole lot of wicked people in this world, there are actually more with us than there are these people in the world. And if the Lord was to open our eyes, we would see an innumerable amount of angels and chariots just hovered about the earth, man. Okay? Because they're everywhere. But it's in a different realm, a different dimension, while at the same time being present. That's on a whole different level of understanding. Okay? Behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha. So chariots of fire. What I saw, the chariot looked like a fireball. So it went from looking like a star, then it transformed and then expanded itself into a fireball. Then it shrunk back down to size into looking like a star again. Okay? Why? Because Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai is real. Our power is real. All right? And seeing that we're coming into the time of the radio frequency identification device, the mark of the beast, is going to be implemented. It's going to be made law. And those who don't take it will be sentenced to death. Okay? And others who do take it, they're going to be sentenced to thermonuclear death. Okay? Supersonic missiles, all the above, you have to look forward to if you take that chip. But as we're coming closer to that day, the chariots are showing themselves more and more. Okay? And the reason why, well, I kind of quoted it already not too long ago. Let's go to 2nd Esdras. Second Esdras chapter 9 in verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. So Kahala Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, because he's clearly visiting the world in which he made. And a lot of people, they're too blind to understand that. They don't get it. And that's all right, because it's not meant for everybody to understand. That's what makes it so special. Just like if you want a woman who's special, you don't want her being passed around. You don't want her having a reputation of being a whore. You want that to be sacred. Well, the same thing with this truth. Sophia is joined to one body. Sophia is joined to the elect, and the elect represent the body of Yahweh Shai. Okay? Anyway, getting off topic. Let's go to Psalms chapter 104. Psalms chapter 104 and verse 3. Who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariot, who walketh upon the wings of the wind, who maketh his angels spirits and ministers of flaming fire. So those chariots can look like a flaming fire. And that's what I saw. Okay, I saw what you would call a so-called spaceship in the form of a star at first, transform into a flaming fireball, and it was an amber color. It looked like a flaming torch. Then it went back into looking like a star and disappeared. Okay? That's what I saw. Okay? And then in the second moment, the same night, second moment, I saw it in the sky as a flaming fire. Nobody saw it. Nobody happened to see it. That shows you the Lord controls everything, man. The Lord literally blinded people from seeing that, but I saw it with my own eyes. That's the time we're in. And that's how beautiful the Lord is, to where he controls literally every thought, every person. He controls the steps of man, the thought of man. He can have something right in front of you and only you see it amongst a multitude of people, because the Lord is showing us that the power is with us. It's within us. Okay? The power is within us so much. I remember there was one time I used to work this job, and it required me to go from house to house, and I would be working on people's gas meters, right? There was this dog in particular. The dog was just barking. It was just going crazy. Arr, arr, arr. It wouldn't shut up, right? So at the end of me about to leave that house, I stared the dog in the face. Tell me why the dog started crying. The dog went from barking, and the second I looked at it, it said, and it looked away, and it walked off like it was in fear when I stared at it, right? There was another time I went to the zoo with my family. It was me, my wife, and my son and my daughter. I believe it was a lion or something along those lines. I can't remember what it was, but it was something along those lines, right? The people that were before us as we were walking, the lion was distant from them. Then when they walked off and we approached it, the lion walked up to us and sat down right in front of us. And the only thing between us and that lion was that glass, but it was in peace. And it literally just came close to us and it sat down. But the other people who were there, it was distant away from them. They didn't get to witness that. But the second that I come up to the window, the animal literally walked up and approached us humbly and sat down, because the Lord is here and he's with us, man. The Lord is working. The Lord is showing us that he's powerful, okay? And that if we have him, how can we lose? What's there to be afraid of? Okay? Psalms 104 and 4, and that's spiritual, 144. Who maketh his angels spirits, his ministers a flaming fire. So the angels are pure energy. That's how they could be within a chariot That's a flaming fireball and not be burned up like a mortal man would. That's how you know we have to be changed. How are you going to enter a vessel that can become a flaming fireball? It can become a flaming piece of steel. Okay? Flaming fire, a flaming torch. These are the same brethren who look after us, who protect us through the spirit and power of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, man. And that's amazing. All right? Now, let's go to Psalms chapter 68. Psalm 68 and 13. Though ye have leaned among the pots, yet shall ye be as the wings of a dove, covered with silver, and her feathers with yellow gold. So imagine seeing a silver or a gold chariot. And then this same silver or gold chariot can make itself a flaming fire. How amazing is that? Right? Though ye have lying among the pots, yet shall ye be as the wings of a dove, covered with silver, and her feathers with yellow gold. That's tight, man. You see a chariot, it could be straight gold, it could be straight silver, it could be silver and gold. And then just out of nowhere, it could just turn into a flame of fire, or just turn into a bright illuminated light, right? Or just turn into the appearance of a cloud, or become transparent. Okay? That's powerful, man. All right? And that's who looks after us. The ministers of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, our brethren, who are fellow servants right along with us. And those are going to be the same vehicles that take us out of here, of course. Verse 18. Thou hast ascended on high. Thou hast led captivity captive. Thou hast received gifts for men, yea, for the rebellious also, that the Lord power might dwell among them. So the Lord is among these angels. Seeing that the Lord is amongst these angels that look after us, the Lord is among us. Okay? Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is among us. And you brethren who may not see these things often, they're amongst you. You're not doing this by yourself. The Lord is with you too. Okay? And you have to believe that, and you have to know that. You have to desire that. Okay? You have to feel it in your bones, man. You have to put all your trust in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. And amazing things are going to happen before you. The Lord is going to show his believers that he's real. You know the beautiful thing about being his elect, which we hope to be? He's going to show you things to make you believe in him. Because he wants you to believe. He's not trying to blind you like he's blinding everybody else. Not all miracles come in the form of seeing chariots. Miracles come in the form of what the Lord has done for you. Situations that you've been in and you got through it. And here you are now, able to express that. Everybody wants to see marvelous signs such as a chariot, as a flaming fireball before they believe Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Okay? The Lord wants us to believe, then he can show you the signs. He don't want you to see the signs, then believe, which that's going to happen for a lot of people too. Remember, we're waiting on the elect to be sealed. Some men believe they're sealed, I don't. You'll know the elect is sealed when that wave of fire comes. When them nuclear missiles get sent off, that's when the elect will be sealed. Other of the elect may not be sealed until the mark of the beast comes. And then they'll remember, oh, they said this would happen. They told me to call on Yahweh Shai and not take it. Then they might have to be a martyr. Okay? because the whole time they were BSing, but they were sealed at that moment. Or they might see one of the brethren low key perform a miracle, because we're not going to be out here teaching when that mark of the beast is here. But for some person to randomly see somebody heal someone, okay, or do some miraculous performance, right? That could cause somebody to say, okay, I believe. And they might be sealed at that moment. The elect are going to be sealed, and you'll know when they're sealed when the nuclear missiles come. That's how you'll know when they're sealed. Okay? Let's jump back to verse 17. Psalm 68 and 17. The chariots of the power are 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord is among them as in Sinai in the holy place. So there's an innumerable amount of chariots. We don't see all of them, but they're watching after the elect. They're also keeping an eye on all these evildoers as well. Because remember, they're not only set up to save and deliver, they're also set up to seek out and destroy. Okay? So the Lord is among them. Psalms chapter 34. Psalms chapter 34 and verse 7. The angel of the Lord encampeth round about them that fear him and delivereth them. So there are thousands of angels that we don't see encamped round about the men that serve Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. There's an innumerable amount of angels. All it takes is one angel to look after you. But the Lord said, you're so special, man, I got thousands of angels encamped round about you. You don't see them, but they're constantly working. They don't sleep. When we go to sleep, they're still awake, working, okay, doing their duty. That's why when you see a chariot that would look like a star, it will be sitting in place. And you might say, nah, that's a star because it's in place. They're in a different zone of what you would call time. They don't go off time. 1,000 years is one day from their perspective. So you'll see a chariot look like a star just sitting in place. But for them, that could have been just a few seconds, right? But they look after us. They protect us. They give us hope. Okay? Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai sends them to give us hope and protection. We come out here to give our people hope, man. And this word, believing in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, is our protection. All right? Let's go to Isaiah chapter 31. In verse 5, as birds flying, so will the Lord of hosts defend Jerusalem. That's speaking of what you will call spaceships, but the Bible calls them chariots. Okay? Flaming torches, gold and silver, feathers, like doves, like eagles, clouds, stars. I mean, there's an innumerable amount of things that the scriptures reference symbolizing what you will call the spaceships. Okay? You know, the cherubim, the cherubims. As birds flying, and when you look at birds fly, how do they fly a lot? They fly in V formation. You'll see chariots if, you know, the Lord gives you that ability, not ability, if the Lord allows you to see it, you can see chariots from time to time in the form of a V. And it might just be in place, or they might actually be hovering in V formation. There's people in the world who have seen these things, who have no idea what they're looking at. But it verifies what? What we're teaching. All right? As birds flying, so will the Lord of hosts defend Jerusalem. Defending also, he will deliver it. Passing over, he will preserve it. And that's what we're looking for. To be delivered. Delivered out of this captivity. Delivered out of the oppression of the so-called white man. All right? Turn ye unto him, from whom the children of Israel have deeply revolted. So our people have turned aside deeply. You got to repent, because the days going to come, these vehicles are going to show themselves. And if you're not in a good case, if you're not written in the book of life, that's going to be a terrible day for someone to still be alive, look up, see the sky flooded with chariots, and it's not good for you. That will be a terrible thing, man. Okay? I would have went further down that way. You know, there's a little more action, but there's no covering. Same with that way. Like there's probably some coverings down there too. But really, I wanted to come here because when I was driving, I ain't came here in a while, but this is David's Jewelers. And you know, through the spirit, I saw the name David. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna just post here. It's been a while, you know? And I'm hoping to be at the house of David. All right? That's my hope. And that's also my belief. Let's go to Acts chapter 1. I don't want to be out here too long. I'll probably make this very, very short. Seeing that it's later than what I want it to be. It's wet out here. There's not a whole lot of traffic going on, you know. Acts chapter 1 and 9. And when he had spoken these things, while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. So this is Yahweh Shai hovering into a chariot, being ascended into a chariot. Okay? So you have to imagine seeing a chariot, a huge spaceship hovering over our Lord and Savior, and him going into it, and then you just looking up like, wow, right? This actually happened. And when he had spoken these things while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. And while they looked steadfastly toward heaven, as he went up, behold, two men stood by them in white apparel, speaking of two angels. And the angels are our brethren, okay? Which also said, ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? This same Yahweh Shai, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall so come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven. So the same way you're seeing him leave is the same way he's going to return. Now, what does that mean? If he left ascending into a chariot, how is he going to return ascending into a chariot? Well, that's really speaking of the Lord's elect. See, when the Lord returns, how Yahweh Shai left, that's the same way the elect are going to be delivered. Okay? Let's read this again. Which also said, ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? This same Yahweh Shai, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall so come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven. So the same way that Yahweh Shai left is the same way we're going to leave. Let's get that in Revelations. Chapter 11 and verse 12. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying, unto them, come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. So just like Yahweh Shai ascended into a cloud, the elect are also going to be ascended into a cloud, right in the eyes of their enemies. And hopefully I'm a part of that number. Okay, I really, really do, man. And with the Lord showing us things, we still have to keep a sense of humility. We don't want to piss the Lord off, man. We don't want to offend the Lord. Okay? As much as the Lord shows us spiritual signs and he shows that he's with us, we always want to keep that humility. Okay? And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, and you better believe this voice is going to be speaking Hebrew, not English, not Arabic, not Spanish, not Latin. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. So just like Yahweh Shai left, that's how he's going to return and deliver his elect. Let's read Acts 1 and 9 again. And when he had spoken these things while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. So just like how Yahweh Shai was taken, and it was in front of the sight of Peter, James, and John, right? The same way the elect are going to leave. It's going to be similar, but it's going to be in the sight of their enemies. They're going to ascend into a cloud in the same manner as Yahweh Shai. Okay? And the angels were like, why are you staring at it like that? The same way you see him leave is the same way you're going to see him return and come get you when the time is right. Okay? And now we're in that time. Now we're finally in those moments where the prophets actually wanted to be and experience and witness. All right? But we're here now. Let's go to John chapter 20. John chapter 20 and verse 29. Yahweh Shai saith unto him, Thomas, because thou hast seen me, thou hast believed. Blessed are they that have not seen me and yet have believed. So even if you haven't seen the chariots, even if you haven't seen certain signs that would be considered miracles, you're blessed for the simple fact that you still believe. And Thomas, at the time, he didn't believe. Yahweh Shai had appeared unto the 11 after he was crucified. And the first person to see that revealed was Mary. And then Mary went and told some of the disciples. They didn't really believe her. They doubted. So Peter and John went to the sepulcher where Yahweh Shai was laid to verify that he wasn't there, right? So seeing that he wasn't there because he was risen, he was risen from the dead. When he had appeared unto the 11, he had appeared unto certain of the 11 at particular times. And Thomas wasn't around when Peter and others have seen Yahweh Shai. I need to go more into the history again, right? So Thomas was like, I don't believe that he came back, basically. I need to see his wounds. I need to actually make sure that that's the Messiah. Okay? And John was there. And I've referenced John a lot, right? But I told you I had a moment in sleep paralysis where I had a ray of light come out of my right hand. And it was a hole in my right hand and a ray of light coming through it. And it made me think of this moment that maybe when Yahweh Shai had showed his wound unto Thomas because he doubted, there might have been a ray of light coming out of it, seeing that he's the light. Okay, anyway, I need to go more into that history again to sharpen up my memory. Yahweh Shai saith unto him, Thomas, because thou hast seen me, thou hast believed. But before he saw Yahweh Shai, he didn't even believe that Yahweh Shai had risen from the dead. Blessed are they that have not seen me and yet have believed. So guess what? Thomas is back here in the reincarnation. And he's a believer. And he's blessed because he hasn't seen Yahweh Shai in this life form, this time around. But you better believe that Thomas is one of you brothers and you believe. Okay? You better believe that, man. Blessed are ye who are here in this ministry right now and you believe in Yahweh Shai even if you haven't seen chariots. You haven't seen spiritual signs. Okay? You haven't seen things that a common person just doesn't see. But yet you still believe in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. You're blessed. Okay? That doesn't make you lesser per se. And even if you are lesser, that doesn't make you not great. The Lord is so fair that even if you are lesser, so to speak, you're still great. The first shall be last, the last shall be first, man. The Lord is dealing with the underdog, so to speak. So a lot of you men who you kind of get hard on yourself, like, man, I ain't never seen the chariots before. I be looking for them too, and I never see them. It ain't about that, Ak. What it's about is your belief in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, regardless of the spiritual signs that you see or don't see. Now, I won't lie and say I won't feel awkward if I didn't see these spiritual signs suddenly. I would feel weird, but that doesn't take away my belief. Okay? Yahweh Shai saith unto him, Thomas, because thou hast seen me, thou hast believed. Blessed are they that have not seen me and yet have believed. And we're back in the reincarnation. We haven't seen Yahweh Shai in his life, but we believe in that man like we were just around him hours ago. And many other signs truly did Yahweh Shai in the presence of his disciples, which are not written in the book. But these are written that ye might believe that Yahweh Shai is the Mashiach, the son of the power, and that believing you might have life through his name. So I'm going to go on ahead and end it short. It's about the belief. It's not about, oh, well, because I saw this and I saw that, now I believe. Blessed are you who actually believe right now, when a lot of other people don't. So Lord willing, this was simple and edifying. You know, that was a beautiful sight that I got to experience on my way to work, man. It was just amazing. It was beautiful. And I'm so thankful that the Lord shows me these things, because when I was talking about my revelation, it made me nervous to talk about it because I didn't want to feel like I'm bugged out, or what if, you know, I'm tripping and I'm reaching and then the Lord pulled a spirit off me, and the Lord has actually not only increased my spirit, he's still showing me signs like I can't be bugged out. I have to be on to something. And you brothers have to believe when you come out here and you teach, the Lord is with you. You are one of those men from the past, humbly speaking. All right? So I'm going to go on ahead and give all thanks and praises unto our power, the power of Israel, not the power of any other nation. All right? And what's his name? Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Wa'arakwadash. Lord willing, this was simple and edifying. Until my next lesson. Shalom.